From Times Square in New York and the Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida, it's Dick Clark's Primetime New Year's Rockin' Eve 2001, starring Bon Jovi, KC and the Sunshine Band, Kiss, NSYNC, O-Town, and Jessica Simpson, plus Wayne Brady, and special reports from around the Big Apple from Steve Ducey and Madison Michelle. And now, live from the Times Square studios in the heart of New York City, here is Dick Clark.
Good evening and welcome to an entire night of celebration. For the first time ever, we're starting in prime time, and we'll give you a little preview of the festivities in Times Square and other parts of New York City. Speaking of Times Square, I'm going to be out there shortly. The big snow has been cleared away in this area, began to fill up in the middle of the afternoon, and by midnight, it's going to swell to over 500,000 people. And we'll tell you what to look for and take you behind the scenes for a sneak preview of one of the most exciting moments you'll ever see, midnight in Times Square. And while the anticipation continues to build, we'll also take a look at some of the New Year's most exciting superstar performances. And the performance that starts things, got a couple of correspondents to know where the action is, starting with this fellow right here, Steve Ducey. Now, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten at the crack of dawn to do his Fox and Friends show, and this is my chance to pay you back, buddy. You are out there in the cold. Was that snow or confetti? How are you, my friend? Where, what, 45th and Broadway, are you?
I tell you what, Dick, that is not confetti. Actually, they've flown in 8 tons of Chad from Florida for tonight. It's a very, very nice thing. Listen, I'm here with 500,000 people and 6,000 cops. It's like the holidays at Robert Downey Jr.'s house. Anyway, it's a little on the chilly side out here, Dick. So take a look. This family right here, they've secretly replaced their shoes with baked potatoes. Genius, absolutely genius. Here's Carl. Carl's brought a whole crowd. Carl, now, how many years have you been coming here?
7 years, and I love it.
Very
Big
nice.
Apple.
The great thing about Carl is not only is he on the Dick Clark Show right now, but he's also able to pick up CB radios. And listen, these girls, Dick, are from Finland, right?
Yes, hyvää uutta vuotta!
And how do you say Happy New Year in Finnish?
Hyvää uutta vuotta!
Very nice. They're from Finland, and
Yes.
what a coincidence, Dick. We're Finnish!
That's it. Whatever it is in Finnish to you, Steve, hasta la vista. We'll talk to you later. By the way, it is 27 degrees out there. The wind chill factor is 15. Later on, we're going to go back and visit with him later. Right now, let's go to the Wollman Ice Skating Rink in Central Park, and a woman who is one of television's most talked about personalities, Madison Michelle. Madison, how are things at the ice skating rink?
Things are wonderful here, Dick. It is absolutely a winter wonderland here in Central Park. There is so much going on here tonight. There's fireworks. We're going to have a 4K race at midnight. We've got music. We've got a raffle. Things are really heating up. Check it out.
What is this? Wait a minute. Is this part of the celebration?
That's right. He twirls fire. He eats fire, folks. It is absolutely amazing. Look at this. Check this out.
Yes,
in the mouth?
Absolutely do it. Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Check this out. Whoa.
Holy mackerel,
Can
he
you
did
believe
it.
it?
That's a hard way to stay warm.
Absolutely, bravo. I taught him everything he knows. I just want you guys to know that. How you doing tonight, Robert?
Good, beautiful, beautiful.
Amazing job you did there.
Thank you very much.
How would you describe your perfect New Year's Eve?
Tonight, here at Wollman's Rink in New York City, the greatest city in the world, and then back home to see the wife and kid.
All right, I like it. Thank
Hello,
you.
Liam.
Hi, Liam. And you girls. Now, you guys look absolutely beautiful. Say a big hello in your mouth. All right. You guys look absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Is this your first time in Central Park for New Year's Eve?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
It is, yeah.
Yes? Give me a New Year's Eve in your native language. A Happy New Year.
Szczęsny rok!
All right, in Italian.
Buon anno a tutti quanti, a tutti gli italiani!
Oh, yeah! Right. What did you think of that fire eating?
It was absolutely beautiful. I think it was excellent.
Right. Now, I have one question for you. You think you guys can show me where you got those cool glasses? Let me get them.
Sure.
All right. Absolutely wonderful. Yeah, all
Thank you, Madison, very much. Happy 2001. They come from all over the world. Now, you know that Bill Maher is one of television's brightest comedians, and his hit late-night show on ABC, Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher, is a place where you can get sort of a funny look at the news every night. As a matter of fact, we discovered that you can sort of relive the year 2000 through Bill's jokes, and to prove the point, we've selected some of Bill's gems to run for you throughout the show. And we're going to start back now. I think this is the one with Valentine's Day, when everybody was talking about that little boy in Florida.
Another chapter in the little saga of Elian Gonzalez. His father, Elian Gonzalez, his father, wrote a letter yesterday to Janet Reno demanding that he be returned to Cuba, and Janet Reno was so touched, not by the letter, just that a man sent her a note on Valentine's Day. Did you see Jennifer Lopez at the Grammys? I mean, wow. I tell you. In honor of her dress, they are changing the name of the Grammys to the Golden Globes.
Boy, oh boy, I have a feeling we're going to hear a lot more from that young lady over the years, and certainly into 2001. By the way, Jessica is dating, as you may or may not know, Nick Lachey from the group 98 Degrees, which just happens to be one of the acts on New Year's Rockin' Eve, which airs tonight at 11:35 Eastern and Pacific, 10:35 Central Time. Right now, let's check in again with Steve Ducey. Steve, what are you up to? You're at 45th and Broadway.
Yeah, I tell you what, Dick, we could actually use 98 degrees out here right now.
Little chilly, is it?
It's a little on the chilly side. Hey, look, Dick, take a look at this.
What is that?
It's some official Times Square confetti that will be on eBay in 15 minutes.
You know, they've given away 5,000 bags of that stuff. I hate the disillusion, but it may not be of great value.
All right, you know, Dick, I'm here with 500,000 people. 9 have not been drinking. They're all waiting for the ball to drop faster than the NASDAQ. And you know, the funny thing about midnight in Times Square is at midnight, everybody sings that song, Auld Lang Syne, right? The funny thing is, nobody actually knows the words. Just watch this. I've got $1 to see if anybody knows the words. Regis has been running the network out of cash, so let's see. Okay, sir, finish the song for me. May all the sins be forgotten. La 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 la. Suddenly it's Shana Na. All right. And by the way, Dick, before we leave you, let me just show you this one person right here. Every year somebody comes out with no clothes on. Here he is, the hairiest man in New York. Nice to see you. I got one word for you. What's that? Epilady. All right, Dick, back to you.
Steve, better you than me. I'll be out there in about an hour and 15 minutes now. Bill Maher reminds us about the lady who started the year as an unknown, and she ended up posing for Playboy.
And finally, I guess you also heard about Darva Conger, the Who Wants to Marry a Multimillionaire Bride. Yesterday, she filed for an annulment. Surprise. It's terrible to see a marriage like that end so quickly. She said the whole thing really was a terrible mistake, and if she ever gets married again, she'd like to do it on a classy network like HBO. Bush conceded that Dick Cheney is perhaps not the most exciting guy in the world. But he has been around Washington forever, and he can explain to George W. Bush the tricky stuff, like how a bill becomes a law.
Hope you're warm inside, Dick. It's cold out here.
Happy New Year!
They're still happy. It's 27 degrees out there with a wind chill factor of 14. You can see a little bit of the snow left. They've pretty much cleared it up. That crowd is gathering. They're going to get bigger and bigger, and welcome back once again. The one thing everybody asks about Times Square on New Year's Eve is, how cold does it get? Well, the coldest New Year's on record was 7 degrees, 7, back in 1917, which, contrary to rumor, I was not there. I had a cold that year. Anyway, here's a look at some of the weather that I did experience. Take a look.
You know, I just suddenly realized that in the years that we've been doing New Year's Rockin' Eve here on ABC, it has rained every year we've been in Times Square. You don't really want to know what's shaking here. It's old Dick Clark shaking in Times Square. It's mighty chilly, but we got a happy group of people down there.
Laugh, you silly fool. This may look cozy to you. Can you see that? It's about 40, 41 degrees. It's raining slightly, but it hasn't dampened anybody's enthusiasm. And as you can see, it's a little soggy, little rainy, but warm. You'll be amazed. This year, it's warm. It's 63 degrees, biggest crowd we've ever had. And I guarantee you one thing, it will be exciting, it'll be big, it'll be loud, and it will be, without a doubt, the coldest New Year's ever. This is the coldest New Year's we've ever had.
Oh, indeed, there have been some cold nights, and I'm going to be out there and not too long from now. A lot of cold nights over the years, and this evening is no exception. The weather in Times Square, as I mentioned, is 27 degrees right now, 14 wind chill factor, something like that, and it's cold. Hey, gentlemen, thank you very, very much. You know, we can see that the crowd is gathering here, and it may be more than 500,000 people tonight. We'll check it out throughout the evening now. The Democrats held their convention in Los Angeles last summer, and of course, Bill Maher had a politically incorrect couple of opinions.
Did you see the big speech by Al Gore? Whew, exciting. No, he made a good speech, Al Gore, tonight at the convention. He tried to come across, of course, as a regular guy. He said he's no different than most Americans who work hard, pay their taxes, and hate their boss. Well, actually, there are some unprecedented things about Al Gore's speech. One, he claimed that he wrote it all himself. Politicians don't usually do that. He said he wrote the whole speech himself. Then he got carried away and said that he invented spell check.
We'll get a lot more from Bill Maher, and you'll find out which group has appeared on New Year's Rockin' Eve the most times when we come back. We're going to find out about that, and we got about 1 hour now for the new year. Don't you dare go away. Hey, welcome back. Question. What group has appeared on New Year's Rockin' Eve more than any other? Well, the Village People have been on twice. Lots of other groups have been on twice. Temptations have been on 3 times. But the current record holder with 4 times is this next group. Let me take you back to 1976. Now, that was the year we threw our Hollywood party at the world-famous Coconut Grove at the Ambassador Hotel. With the ultimate party song, KC at the Sunshine Band.
Me and you, and do the things, do the things that we like to do. Do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight.
believe that was 24 years ago. Now, that is what New Year's Eve is all about. Let's see who's going to get down tonight in Central Park. Here's Madison Michelle again. Madison, what's going on?
Hey, Dick, it is just great over here. And, you know, actually, Steve seemed like he was having a little problem finding some people to sing Old Lang Syne really well. Well, I have hit the jackpot over here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Ready? Hit it, guys.
Should all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and angels Old Lang Syne?
Oh, now, Madison, tell me the truth, Madison. You had a cue card. You had the words written down, didn't you?
I did not. I promise they knew all the words. It's just incredible. Now, you guys sounded so amazing. You must be professional singers.
I wish. A lot of us would love to become professional singers, but I just graduated from college, as did Aisha here, and these two are still in college, and they're trying to become performers as well.
What college?
We go to SUNY Geneseo out in Rochester.
Wonderful. Now, you kitty winks up here, how would you describe the perfect New Year's Eve?
Well, I would describe it like spending time with my family and like eating whatever I want to.
Right?
And having fun.
And what would you like to eat for New Year's Eve?
Some chips, some onion garlic.
How about you, Angel?
Well, I'd have pizza and cake and all the good stuff.
Ah, that sounds awesome. Well, what do you say that we go on in and get some hot chocolate? All of us.
Yeah.
All right, back to you, Dick.
Thank you, Madison. Pizza and all that. Oh, forget it. Now, Bill Maher couldn't let the show Survivor go by without a comment. Take a look.
And they already have next season's Survivor planned. It's a little different. They're going to have a dozen contestants spend 3 months driving a Ford Explorer with Firestone tires. That's...
When we come back, an exclusive sneak preview of tonight's celebration and a performance by O-Town. Don't go away.
Happy New Year's Eve from the greatest town in America, New York City. How do I know it's so great? I own most of it. Have a great New Year's Eve, Dick.
Mr. Modesty himself, Donald Trump. Donald, thank you very much and welcome back. You know, everybody is still talking about last year's Millennium Celebration. Remember it?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy 2000! It looks like a blizzard there. That's 3,500 pounds of confetti being fired by cannons from 13 different locations. Our cameras can hardly see through the paper. Happy New Year!
Well, nobody is resting on their laurels there in Times Square. Now, the man behind this year's celebration is right there over on that platform where I'm going to be in just a few minutes from now. Peter Coleman, who's the executive director of this whole thing. How are you going to top yourself, Peter?
Well, I think we may have topped it already. There's a gigantic crowd here that's been gathering since 3 o'clock this afternoon, waiting for the ball to come down at midnight. We certainly have a lot of confetti, 3,500 pounds. We also have the hundreds of thousands of handouts and 2 great puppets that are going to be coming out, Father Time and Baby Time, and of course, the ball with Waterford Crystal and the Phillips light bulbs ready to descend at 11:59.
Peter, were you at least a bit worried about the weather yesterday when a foot of snow fell on this town?
Isn't it unbelievable? Only New York could pull this off with the help of the sanitation department, the police department, the mayor's office. This place looks like it's the best it's ever been.
You know, it truly is amazing. This is the best choreographed party in the world. The NYPD, the fire department, the sanitation workers, you all pull together and throw the greatest party ever.
Yes, they do. And it's really thanks to them that over all these years, Times Square has really turned the corner. And this is when it's great to go into the Millennium with this kind of great celebration and all the wonderful people that have put it together.
Well, Peter Coleman, congratulations on not only last year, but this year. How chilly is it out there on my platform?
It's actually not as bad as it was this afternoon. The wind has died down a little bit. All right, and there's a real happy crowd here.
I'll be jumping out there in about 45 minutes, Peter. See you in a little bit. Thank you ever so much. I guess probably the biggest story of the year 2000 was the election. The election that wouldn't end. Here's how Bill Maher saw it.
As of today, what I have to report is that neither Bush nor Gore has been elected president. I know that's a great feeling, but it can't last forever. As of 8 o'clock East Coast time, which we're taping this at that time, there is still no winner. There is a state of confusion and not knowing in America. So I guess the Bush era has begun.
Thank you, Bill. Remember, you can see Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher Monday through Friday after Nightline right here on ABC. And we'll be right back with Kiss, so don't you dare go away. Hey, welcome back. In just about 40 minutes or so, we'll be out there with a gang. And right now, here's a group that played to 1.5 million people on their farewell tour in 2000. How popular are they? Well, they are second only to the Beatles in gold albums. From their appearance at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey, here is Kiss.
And remember to rock and roll all night and party every You show us everything you've got. You keep on dancing and the beat gets high. You drive us wild, they'll drive me crazy. And you say you wanna go for a spin. The party's off, they come and let you in. You drive us wild, they'll drive me crazy. Yeah, you keep on shouting, you keep on shouting. Come on and clap your hands. I wanna rock and roll all night. We party every day. I wanna rock and roll all night. We party every day. I wanna rock and roll all night. Come on! We party every day. I wanna rock and roll all night. All night, baby. All right. Party every day.
They are definitely gonna rock and roll all night. And here in New York City, let us say goodnight to our correspondent, Madison. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. All right, well, is it going right now? I'm giving some crazy characters out here on the ice, like this guy, for example. Take that off and talk to us. I know. What's your name?
I'm I'm Robbie Church from Lake Apacon, New Jersey.
Yeah?
Yes.
So what was the highlight of your night tonight?
Shaking hands with Mayor Giuliani.
All right, Mayor Giuliani. And where are you going to be when the ball drops?
I'll be in here in the park watching the fireworks and enjoying myself.
Everybody, Happy New Year. I'm Madison Michelle. Happy New Year's, Mom. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. Hey, listen, we're ready to start celebrating. And it's awfully cold out here. So I tell you what, Dick, I've told all 500,000 they're coming into your dressing room because you're going to make them cocoa and then we're going to warm up in Diane Sawyer's office. Let's go, everybody.
Thank you, Steve Ducey. Thank you, Madison Michelle. New Year's Rockin' Eve is coming up, and our Hollywood host is the star of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Wayne Brady.
We're getting our party started right now with 98 degrees. Yes. Oh, I love you guys so much that I want to be your 5th member, may I?
Absolutely, man.
Here's my audition. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? Mi perro es nombre rojo.
Wow. Very nice.
As you can see, we're getting ready to get our party on in Hollywood. Is that good?
Right after the local news, the Bangles, the Baha Men, Third Eye Blind, Vertical Horizon, Joe, 98 Degrees. Going to be a great party. I'll be out there in the square. We'll see you there. Don't go away. Join us for New Year's Rockin' Eve here on ABC. Hi, Dick Clark with you live for the 29th year with New Year's Rockin' Eve here on ABC. And with me, Mayor Rudolph Giuliani. Mayor, how did you get this town cleared up so fast for the New Year's Eve celebration?
The greatest sanitation workers in the whole world.
It's a fantastic
They did
effort.
a great job. The transportation workers, the sanitation workers, the police, the firefighters. They started yesterday morning, and the challenge was we'd have to cancel it. And they said, no way we're canceling it.
In 10 seconds, Mayor, why is this the place to be?
It just happened that way. Asia, Africa, all over the world, they watch it here. It just happened that way, and thank God it did. We love it.
Thank you. Happy New Year, sir.
Thank you.
We got a great show coming up from New York and Hollywood, the greatest star lineup ever. It's the 29th annual New Year's Rockin' Eve on ABC.
From Hollywood and live from Disney World and Times Square, it's Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve 2001, starring 98 Degrees, Baha Men, Bengals, Boys to Men, Lone Star, Third Eye Blind, plus live from Times Square, Dick Clark. And now, here's your host, the star of Whose Line Is It Anyway, Wayne Brady.
How we doing? Hey, everybody. Welcome to Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve 2001. We've got everything. We've got great shows, great music, and Mr. Dick Clark himself in Times Square. Now, if you people are like me, you're ready to have the time of your life. In the words of the great Godfather soul, James Brown, I feel good. Y'all feel good. Do you feel good? And now
And the real ball will drop before it's over here. Look over here. Stevie Wonder comes to Times Square to celebrate. Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year to you. How are you?
Take it. Stand right there. Happy New Year. The celebration continues in California and New York. The mayor was worried that they were not going to have a party tonight. Don't you worry. Everybody is here, and it's going to be huge. I'm going to jump up top that platform in a second, and New Year's Rockin' Eve will continue.
Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve on ABC.
Back live in Times Square, and it's time for resolutions. Wade, do you have one?
Yes, I do. I'd like to wish all the guys at the 5th Precinct a Happy New Year. They're the greatest. We are the finest. And to my husband, this will be the year we're going to start our family. Raymond, I love you for 5 years.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry about my mic. Kareem, what's your resolution?
My resolution is to lose some more weight. So far, I already lost 10 pounds, hoping to lose at least 30 more for the year. And so far, I'm doing pretty good.
You know that's the #1 resolution of the year, to lose weight?
Oh, yes, definitely. Even my mom encouraged me to do that.
I wish you the very best, sir. Thank you so very much. Thanks for all the help here to you and all of your New York PD colleagues. They are the best. Speaking of the best, we have the best celebration of New Year's still to come. Up to the platform we go.
right after this. Thank you very much, and Happy New Year to you. Thank you once again for joining us. Can you believe, Mayor Giuliani said to me, how many years is this? I said, well, believe it or not, Mayor, this is our 29th year of joining the greatest party in the world, and thank you for all of your efforts. This truly is the best choreographed, best organized big party in the world. We're about 8 minutes to the big ball drop. There are easily 500,000 people here, maybe more. They're up in the office buildings. They're waving, they're saying hello from everywhere. The problem was, I think, the snow yesterday was about a foot deep, and everybody was concerned. But they cleaned up Times Square, they cleaned up the state. The temperature now is about 27 degrees. The wind chill factor is about 14. Our coldest year was about 14 degrees. That was 1976. And as you're saying, this is the best organized event ever. There are 6,000 New York police people here, 225 production people right here at the crossroads. There are fireworks at Disney World. There's excitement in New York. This is a party of parties. The crossroads of the world at 43rd and 44th Street. This is the heart of Times Square, where everybody has their eye on that giant ball. This is where Broadway crosses 42nd Street. It's a sort of an X-shaped affair. Broadway crosses 42nd and 7th Avenue. They first did this thing back in 1905 with fireworks. Tonight, there will be fireworks at Disneyland, and Disney World is coming through with lots of excitement. As you can see, it's 11:53. Digital clock will remain there. We'll keep you posted all through the night. You won't miss a thing, and it's all going to happen on New Year's Rockin' Eve from the best vantage point in the world. Stay warm, stay cozy, enjoy the excitement on the 29th annual New Year's Rockin' Eve, live from Times Square, from the office buildings, from the street, from Hollywood, from Disney World. This is the place to be. And when that ball drops, you're going to see excitement like you've never seen before. We've got 98 degrees, the Bangles, the Baja Men, Boys to Men, Third Eye Blind, Vertical Horizon, Joe, Lone Star, going on to the wee hours of the morning. Coming up, the big ball drop here on ABC. Don't go away. We'll be back on ABC's New Year's Rockin' Eve right after this word. Ball is going to drop in just about 3 minutes from now. It takes them a while to put that ball together. That's the finished result up there. You'll see it drop down, and they've riveted together a lot of new things this year. It has 696 multicolored bulbs inside, 96 high-intensity strobe lights, 90 rotating mirrors. It weighs a ton, actually 1,070 pounds, and that's what every single one of these people is looking for. Watch that clock now. We're coming up on almost 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 14 seconds or thereabouts. First was dropped in 1907. It was made from iron and wood, and it hides up there at #1 Times Square. They're in the office building. Boy, that's a scary spot. Happy New Year, Dick. Thank you, folks. They've all got their eyes glued on the ball. Less than 2 minutes. You can feel the excitement in the air. They have distributed tons and tons of confetti at 42nd and 43rd Streets in the bow tie here. By the way, 85% of these people here on the square, Mayor Giuliani and Muhammad Ali there, ready to signal the ball drop. 85% of these people live outside of town. They've got their eye on the ball. Look at it. Oh, it's a biggie this year. Multicolored. Coming up on a minute or so. They're about 19 to 35 years of age. A minute and 15 seconds till the new year. Keep your eye on it. It'll slowly begin to descend here very, very shortly. The visitors are watching. There's Maher and Muhammad Ali signaling a ball drop. Here we go. Boston rocking with Dick Clark. Bless your heart. Oh, you can feel the electricity in the air. Look at, oh, it's a blue color now. Here we come up on 30 seconds. The ball is slowly descending down that 70-foot pole. 5 huge television screens. They're counting it down. 20 seconds. In 15. Looks like it might be hitting that sign to drop early. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Happy New Year 2001! Out in California. They're celebrating there on stage. Vertical Horizon coming up a little later. That's thousands of pounds of confetti. 1,000 volunteers here. It's a 24-hour celebration. Should have seen the snow yesterday. Thank goodness tonight it's only confetti. They did one great job cleaning this town up. That's California. Louis, thank you very much for a great party. Louis Navarro has been Wayne Brady, bless you, my man. Little old Einstein. Hundreds of those balloons were distributed tonight. Seems like everybody's got one. Look at it. It is a blizzard of confetti. Times Square live. Say hi to the folks at home. They are so happy that it isn't real cold. You'd never know it was 27 degrees in New York City. They have heated up the air from the buildings down onto the street. Look at it. Hey, Happy New Year. Hotels in this area, 250 restaurants with 90,000 rooms available to all the people in Times Square. That's Disney World, of course. Big fireworks display going on there. In New York, they have a fireworks display up in Central Park, and sometimes from our vantage point, you can see it. Once again, our thanks to the Marriott Marquis Hotel people for allowing us to use their vantage point. It's just the best. That's from our ABC studios. Pyrotechnics happening here. Big fireworks on top of Times Square right now. #1 Times Square. Right above the 2001 sign. This party, you know, it's going to go on until the wee hours of the morning. This is just the beginning of it all. So stay here with us live in Times Square and in Hollywood, California for New Year's Rockin' Eve. New York, New York. This whole area is singing right now. It is a great celebration. Thanks to New York's finest. Look at them. Did you ever see a happier group of people? As I say, it's a young person's game. Most of the people here are between 19 and 25. The puppets flying. 500 dancers and actors and musicians and puppeteers. 5 big giant TV screens. Fireworks in Central Park. That's our chopper cam up there. It's a big night in New York. Yesterday, the town was closed down. A foot of snow, but they got the act together like no other town could ever do it.
20,000 red balloons being distributed. And we ought to check and see, do we have the footage from around the world here? I believe so. Fireworks here once again. Sydney, Australia, they had 1 million people there on the harbor this year. 1 million people turned up for the Sydney, Australia celebration. Of course, several hours ago in Tokyo, similar celebrations. Beautiful lighting display. Around the world, it's 2001. Hong Kong. Little dancing, little display that cheek to jowl. They're standing, celebrating New Year's Eve around the world. Even in Moscow, they've got a little smattering of fireworks in the Kremlin. It's a big night for everybody, and it's certainly a big night here in New York. Fireworks atop #1 Times Square. That's a new one. First time they did that was back in 1904. That's an inside look down on the crowd from our ABC studios, where our party will continue on New Year's Rockin' Eve into the wee hours with 98 Degrees, Bangles, Baha Men, Boys to Men, Third Eye Blind, Vertical Horizon, Joe and Lone Star. Well, I'm talking about a talent lineup. Don't forget the huge American Music Awards coming up in a week or so on Monday night, January 8th, hosted by Britney Spears and LL Cool J. Talk about talent. Opening the show with Jennifer Lopez, Tony Braxton, Ricky Martin, Martina McBride, Chadaisy, Billy Gilman, Pink, Marilyn Manson, Aerosmith, Outkast, Three Doors Down, Jessica Simpson. That is the biggest music show of the year. This is the biggest Times Square party ever. Forget last year. No, that was huge. This is big. Listen to that crowd. Back we go to California now. And yeah, the Baja. It's still going on here, Wayne. Before it gets too late, I want to thank a couple of people, as always. Larry Klein, our producer of the show, Barry Glazer, our director of the LA event, Bob McKinnon, who directs our New York get-together, Bill Clark, who's the ABC Associate Director of Production, for putting the whole New York party together, and to our cameraman. The fellow right in front of me, and I guess they'll take a shot from way behind us somewhere, is Larry Kaltenbach. Thank you, Larry, very much. On camera number 2, the handheld camera, way down on the street, Gene Kelly, bless your heart. We all thank you for the hard work. Way up on top of the Marriott Marquis is Lincoln Weiss. Lincoln, you got a good spot. You got an eagle's eye view up there. And I can't let this year go by without mentioning a fella we miss. For many, many years, he was the handheld camera on New Year's Rockin' Eve. Downstairs, we spent a lot of harrowing nights. We lost John Williams this year. And John, if you're up there looking in on the celebration, we're all thinking of you. And I thank you. I miss you. Now, back to business. They're still celebrating inside. Outside, Wayne Brady's got 98 Degrees, the Bangles, the Baha Men, Boys to Men, Third Eye Blind, Vertical Horizon, Joe and Lone Star. And remember, the party is going to continue on into the wee hours. That's either 1 or 2 o'clock, depending upon what time zone you're on. So after our regular New Year's Rockin' Eve party, we're going to have a lot more music still to come. This is the place to be. You know, it's surprising. Hey, Mickey is, hey, Mickey. I think Mickey's either a year older or a year younger than I. Boy, he looks good for a mouse his age, doesn't he? Hey, Mickey. Now, here in New York, it's funny. This crowd is not dispersing. Usually at this time, they're running. There are parties all over this town. There are places to go. Look at the neon signs. You know, you can see a little bit of space. Yesterday, you wouldn't have seen that pavement. It was literally a foot of snow. This town came to a standstill until an army of terrific people cleared it up and made the party possible. They were concerned, as Mayor Giuliani said earlier, that they might have to cancel this celebration. It's never happened that way. Twice in years gone by. I'll tell you about that maybe a little bit later. But this year has come together beautifully. Well-organized, great party. The party continues in Times Square into the wee hours, as I mentioned, and of course, from Hollywood, California, with Wayne Brady and a raft of great stars. It's New Year's Rockin' Eve, again on the place to be, ABC.